Sai Ram, dear listeners. Live broadcast of the proceedings from the Sai Kulwant Hall at Prasanthi Nilayam will follow shortly. Please stay tuned.
సాయిరామ్. మరికొద్దిసేపట్లో ప్రశాంతి నిలయంలోని సాయి కుల్వంత్ సభా మండపం నుండి ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారాలను మీరు వింటారు. దయచేసి వేచి ఉండండి.
Sai Ram, dear listeners. Live broadcast of the proceedings from the Sai Kulwant Hall at Prasanthi Nilayam will follow shortly. Please stay tuned. సాయిరామ్. మరికొద్దిసేపట్లో ప్రశాంతి నిలయంలోని సాయి కుల్వంత్ సభా మండపం నుండి ప్రత్యక్ష ప్రసారాలను మీరు వింటారు. దయచేసి వేచి ఉండండి.
मुतते नमः. यात इषु शिवतमा शिवं बभूवते धनुः. शिवा शरव्यायातवतया नो रुद्रमृडया. याते रुद्र शिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी. तयानस्तनुभाषन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः. यामिषुङ्गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे. शिवाङ्गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत्. शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छावदामसि. यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत्. अद्य वोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहीगश्च सर्वान् जम्भयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुम् रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिता सहस्रशो वैशागुम् हेड ईमहे असौ यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उदैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उदैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोराग्नियोर्जाम् याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वपा अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशते शुधे निशीर्य शल्यानाम् मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विज्यन् धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतिर्मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुज नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्याम् तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशाञ्च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनाम् पतये नमो नमः सस्मिञ्जराय त्विषीमते पथीनाम् पतये नमो नमो बभ्लुषाय विव्याधिनेन्द्राणाम् पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानाम् पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगताम् पतये नमो नमो रुद्रायातताविने क्षेत्राणाम् पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानाम् पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणाम् पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणाम् पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनाम् पतये नमो नमः उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनाम् पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनाम् पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निर्व्याधिन आव्याधिनीनाम् पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे सेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषु धिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते सायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमोऽसिमद्भ्यो नक्तञ्जरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नम उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नम इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नम आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्योऽश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविध्यन्तेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः क्षत्रुभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षद्भ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः श्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो मेढुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षेयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवे चाजिराय च नमः शीघ्राय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय चावस्वन्याय च नमः श्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय चापरजाय च नमो मध्यमाय चापगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्धियाय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय चावसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरोधिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय चाहनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषु धिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णे शरे चायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सोद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कोप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नमः ईध्र्याय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेश्मियाय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ॐ हर 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 ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमः साम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कोल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नमः आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्प्याय च फेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नम इरण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किगुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदयाय च निवेष्ट्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्क्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्व्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमो पौरमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नमः आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो किरिकेभ्यो देवानागुं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षेणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नम आनिर्हतेभ्यो नम आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पदे दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषाम् पुरुषाणामेषाम् पशूनाम् माभेर्मा रोमो येषाम् किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनु शिवा विश्वाह भेषजे शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजे तया नो मृडजीवसे इवागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्धिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिम् यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वम् पुष्टम् ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रोतनो मयस्कृधिक्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छञ्चयोश्च मनुरायजे पिता तदस्याम तव रुद्रः प्रणीतो मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकम् मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितम् मानो वधीः पितरम् मोत मातरम् प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोकेतनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान्मानो रुद्रभामितो वधिर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आराते गोघ्न उत पूरुषग्ने क्षयद्वीराय सुम्नमस्मेते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यथा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतम् गर्त सदैयुवानम् मृगन्न भीममुपहतृमुग्रम् मृडाचरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणक्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरा मघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढ्वस्तोकायतनयाय मृडय मीढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधम् निधाय कृत्युम् वसान आचर पिनाकम् बिभ्रदागहि विकिरित विलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगुम्भेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निवपन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्या तेषागुम् सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन् महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठाः शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाशितिकण्ठादिवगुम् रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासक्कपर्धिनः ये अन्नेषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथाम् पथि रक्षय ऐलभृदाय व्युतः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति श्रुकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे तेषागुम् सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्याम् येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नम् वातो वर्षमिषभस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु तेयम् द्विष्मो यश्च नो द्वेष्टितम् वोजम्भे दधामि त्र्यम्बकम् यजामहे सुगन्धिम् पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सु य ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु ये ते सहस्रमयुतम् पाशा मृत्यो मर्त्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा प्राणानाम् ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो मा विशान्तकः तेनान्नेनाप्यायस्व नमो रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि तमुष्टु हि यस्विषुः सुधन्वायो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशो मनसाय रुद्रन्नमोभिर्देवमसुरन्दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजो यगुं शिवाभिमर्शनः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Om Sri Sai Ram. Swami, with your permission, we now present to you the participants of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program Batch 2021 through a march past. We seek for your permission and blessing, Swami.
साथ कदम संग संग चले साथ साथ कदम संग संग चले, साथ चले हम, साथ चले हम, साथ हो कदम, साथ चले हम, साथ हो कदम। एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो कर्म, एक हो कर्म। संगच्छध्वं संबद्धत्वं संभो मनांसि जानता, समान चिंता समान वचन समान कर्म। संगच्छध्वं समान चिंता समान वचन समान कर्म, संबद्धत्वं समान चिंता समान वचन संभो मनांसि जानता। मंत्र समान हो, तंत्र समान हो, मंत्र समान हो, तंत्र समान हो, समिति समान हो, संगति समान हो, मति समान हो, सम्मति समान हो, लय समान हो, निर्णय समान हो। मंत्र समान हो, तंत्र समान हो, मंत्र समान हो, तंत्र समान हो, समिति समान हो, संगति समान हो, मति समान हो, सम्मति समान हो, लय समान हो, निर्णय समान हो। मंत्र समान हो, अभिमंत्र समान हो, साथ चले हम, साथ हो कदम। एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो कर्म, एक हो कर्म। संगच्छध्वं संबद्धत्वं संभो मनांसि जानता, think alike, speak alike, act alike. संगच्छध्वं think alike, speak alike, act alike. संबद्धत्वं संगच्छध्वं संबद्धत्वं संभो मनांसि जानता, think alike, speak alike, act alike. संगच्छध्वं think alike, speak alike, act alike. संबद्धत्वं संगच्छध्वं संबद्धत्वं संभो मनांसि जानता, think alike, speak alike, act alike. संगच्छध्वं think alike, speak alike, act alike. संबद्धत्वं think alike, speak alike, संभो मनांसि जानता, think alike, speak alike, संभो मनांसि जानता, think alike, speak alike, संभो मनांसि जानता, think alike, speak alike, संभो मनांसि जानता। मर्म समान हो, कर्म समान हो, मर्म समान हो, कर्म समान हो, सिद्धि समान हो, संकल्प समान हो, हृदय समान हो, प्रत्यय समान हो, कर्म समान हो, धर्म समान हो, कर्म समान हो, कर्म समान हो, धर्म समान हो, कर्म समान हो, सिद्धि समान हो, संकल्प समान हो, हृदय समान हो, प्रकृति समान हो, धर्म समान हो, धर्म समान हो, कार्य समान हो, अधिकार समान हो, साथ चले हम, साथ हो कदम, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो विचार, एक हो कर्म, एक हो कर्म, एक हो कर्म, संगच्छध्वं संबद्धत्वं सम्भुवनांसि जानतां, 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 समान चिन्ता समान वचन समान कर्म संगच्छध्वं, समान चिन्ता समान वचन समान कर्म संबद्धत्वं, समान चिन्ता समान वचन सम्भुवनांसि जानतां, think alike, speak alike, act alike, संगच्छध्वं, think alike, speak alike, act alike, संबद्धत्वं, think alike, speak alike, सम्भुवनांसि जानतां, सम्भुवनांसि जानतां, सम्भुवनांसि जानतां.
Om Sri Sai Ram. We offer our most reverential and collective prayers at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagavan. Swami, with your infinite grace and mercy, today we, the participants of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, batch of 2021, have gathered here to offer our gratitude on this valedictory ceremony. The Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program aims to inculcate a specific set of leadership skills in the youth, built upon the foundation of a value system encouraged by you only, Swami. And who else can one emulate in this context when we have our Swami, the ultimate leader, the supreme leader, a personification of perfection and an epitome of excellence. Swami, it was you only who has conceived, conceptualized, drove, and blessed this program to this grand conclusion. And today, we, the children of the entire nation, have gathered here to offer our gratitude, and we make you a promise, Swami, we'll transform our own self, and we make you a promise, Swami, we'll make all our efforts to please only you and you. Swami, moving forward, we now request the coordinator of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, Dr. Gopi Krishna Pidatala, to offer the annual report and to deliver his presentation.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Offering my most loving salutations at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan, our most loving friend, Swami, our Shashtanga pranams to you. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, and my dear participants of the Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation. I take this opportunity to quote Bhagwan, quote, "Education must teach a person what life is and what its goals are. It must purify the heart and clarify the vision. It must prevent pollution of the hand, heart, and the head by habits injurious to the individual, society, and the nation. It must provide and promote virtues and raise the moral and spiritual standards of the educated," unquote. The sole purpose of this program is to bring all these children to your divine lotus feet, Swami. This is the only sole purpose of this program. All other objectives that we have listed out in this program are very minuscule, but your love and grace is the sole objective of this program. And I would like to place at your divine lotus feet, Swami, that the entire program has been built on the solid foundation of self-mastery and message, as you have taught us over the years. After 2.5 years of brainstorming with many individuals, coaches, civil servants, doctors, industrial experts, our own chancellor here, our managing trustee, every single member, this program was structured into 4 different components wherein we try to bring in or ignite some information on individual skills, team skills, individual unfoldment, and self-mastery, and on top of all of that, value-based leadership. The name of the program underwent multiple iterations, Swami, and we know that it is your guidance. And finally, the name started with Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation. It's a web-based online program offered on every Saturday and Sunday for about 90 minutes over 26 weeks with a 5-day contact program in English in Prasanthi Nilayam. The participants are equipped with skills that they need for personal, professional lives and their spiritual growth. This program is constantly monitored by the chairman, the All India President, Sri Nimish Pandya. Swami, On the auspicious birthday of yours, every year the program is announced for the subsequent year. Based on the applications received, the state presidents nominate the candidates for this program. With your humble permission, I would like to submit the first batch started in 2020, and we had 490 applications, out of which 182 were selected, women 67 and men 115. The present batch, which has a valedictory function today, there's a 2021 batch, had close to about 900 applications, out of which 175 gents and 166 mahilas are getting these certificates today. With your divine blessings, the numbers grew, and though the COVID pandemic was very prevalent, we received more than 1,400 applications in the year 2022, and finally 351 students are enrolled for the batch of 2022. It belongs with a very long 1-month Dhyana Parayanam, where we try to understand the divine message on Dhyana as illustrated by you, Bhagwan. And there is an everyday quiz, there is an every weekend debrief on the topics by our own Sai students of the Sri Sathya Sai Center for Human Values. Today, we come to the final valedictory function of the 2021 batch. And I would like to mention at this point that all the classes that have been done on online has been done on Microsoft, and we've reached out to Microsoft India for permission to use their platform. They gave us license for 1 million users for Satya Sai Seva organization. The journey of 90 days, 90 hours of learning has been an enriching and satisfactory with pre- and post-reading material. The candidates of the testimonies of the candidates that there's some change that has come will be heard now in a few minutes. The most important aspect, Swami, every class had close to about 85 to 90% attendance online. And today we see about 571 candidates from batch 2020, 2021 and 2022 in your divine august presence. Another important feature of this program is the program called Satsangatve Nisangatvam, which is a 90-minute online session taken up by leaders of the nation. They are industrialists, civil servants, eminent doctors, and all of them are devotees of Swami, and they follow the word and path of Sai, and they share their experiences of leadership, and they have a very good interaction with the participants too. Projects are mandatory. The first batch took 53 projects on the different initiatives of the Sri Sathya Sai organizations across India. Last year, with your divine blessings, we had 80 projects on 9 different categories taken up across India. Swami, I recall an incident way back in 1995. When I was very young, we had actually conducted a program called as University to Universality in Hyderabad. Swami called us and said, how many had come for this program? Swami, we said 900 young students were there. Swami smiled and said, 9 mandi nilakadaga nilabadtara. He said, can 9 youngsters stand and do seva for the world? Swami, with your divine blessings, it took us a lot of time. Lot of initiatives have been taken by the young leaders of the Satya Sai organizations across India. But today, with your permission, you mentioned that you should bring at least 5 youth from a district. Swami, we present to you in person 571 youth from across the country. Today, these candidates offer themselves. These 341 candidates who have completed this course, who have offered themselves as flowers twined with your divine love as a garland at your divine lotus feet, Swami. Please accept them. Samarpayami. Swami, Samarpayami. Samarpayami. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my pranams at the divine lotus feet of my mother Sai. Esteemed elders, dear brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. Swami, Asatoma Sadgamaya, lead us from untruth to truth. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, lead us from darkness to light. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya, lead us from death to immortality. The Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation is not just another prayer that Swami checked off of our lists of being his students. Swami has blessed us all with a blueprint for our lives. The experience that this program offers are Swami's manifestations of his love, connecting us across boundaries by being socially distant yet soulfully near. I am Swati Vasudevan, a participant of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, Batch 2020. We offer an audio-visual at Swami's Divine Lotus Feet that attempts to capture those blessed moments. This will be followed by the oath delivery by the 2021 participants, led by Sri Krishna Kumar. Sri Krishna Kumar hails from the state of Maharashtra, is an alumnus of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He is a faculty and is on the academic council of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation. Jai Sai Ram.
It was time, Swami. You had blessed to formalize a program for the national youth that are thine. I, to we, to he, through tell, do, and be. Vahinis, Mahavakyas, Sri Sathya Sai speaks, and many more literature to impart, to guide all to instinctively realize and seat you more firmly in our hearts. A human values-based leadership program scheduled to practice and imbibe the values through many pre- and post-session activities like Dhyana Vahini Parayan, Jyoti Meditation, Satsang, and Passage Meditation. 2020, that year, tested us all in plenty. 2021, through continuous sadhana and seva, we strengthened as one. 2022, we are growing as a family with the vision clearly in view. From north, east, west, and south, the beacons of your message, Swami, the Sai youth.
By imparting dhairyam through Dhyana Vahini Paraya, Swami, you reinforce the qualities and importance of character development through modules handpicked by you and arranged as flowers forming a garland that ultimately would serve at your divine lotus feet. You set our goals at the beginning of this program, dawning more upon us the essentials of communication through ably solving problems. The practical application of concepts excited us as to how to unleash our creativity without ambiguity and to continue to get deeply rooted with Indian culture and its richness. The sessions and learning have equipped us with efficient tools and knowledge to drive projects as a leader and being constantly self-aware of your presence in us. Swami, your voice in us guides us constantly to be able to continue to build our Bharat, understand the essence of our motherland, celebrate her richness and the purpose of realizing that all are one and you are our one. You remind us to not forget to seal our desires. Swami, you lead us to the light in expanding your glory by following all the above as a natural way of living. For your life is your message. Our lives will speak your message.
समर्पयामि अहं उदरकमलं समर्पयामि अहं हृदयकमलं समर्पयामि अहं हस्तकमलं समर्पयामि अहं मुखकमलं समर्पयामि अहं नेत्रकमलं समर्पयामि अहं कर्णकमलं समर्पयामि अहं अधरकमलं समर्पयामि अहं शिरकमलं समर्पयामि अहं सर्वाङ्गकमलं समर्पयामि
I request all the students to please stand up. Batch 2021. Om Shri Sai Ram, we now offer our collective oath of honor at Divine Lotus feet. I hereby solemnly declare and promise that I will, to the utmost of my capacity and opportunity, support and practice values and principles that I learnt as part of Sri Satya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, and I will continue my journey on the path of seva and sadhana by loving all and serving all. I will, in my daily life, through my thought, word and deed, revere my mother and father, and conduct myself as a member of Sri Satya Sai Seva organizations, adhering to the fundamental tenets as laid down by Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. I shall and I will continue to uphold and advance all-round welfare of my motherland and my brothers and sisters, today, tomorrow, and ever after. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer my most humble and loving salutations at the divine lotus feet of my beloved Mother Sai. A very loving Sai Ram to all my sisters and brothers. It is my pride and privilege to invite the Mahila Valedictorian for the batch of 2021 of the Sri Satya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation. Ms. Harini Iyer is an alumnus of Bal Vikas and is now serving as the think tank member for the social media pillar from the state of Tamil Nadu. The Mahila Valedictorian of batch 2021, Sri Satya Sai National Leadership Program, Ms. Harini Iyer. Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Swami. Loving Sai Rams to everyone assembled here and tuned in from different parts of the globe. Chikkina Sai ni vakkaleka chakka chesukondi. పోయిన చిక్కడు ఈ పర్తీసుని పాద సేవయండి. భక్తిని ఇచ్చి శక్తిలో ముంచి ముక్తి చేర్చుండండి. ఏక మనసుతో నమ్మి సాయిని ఎంచి కొలువబోండి. ఇతరుల మాటల నింపొగ నమ్మి కొంప తీయకండి. This profound poem by Bhagwan reminds us, you have found Sai. Now bring him near. Do not neglect him. Once lost the chance to serve, the feet of the Lord of Parthi will never come again. He bestows devotion, immerses you in strength, and takes you to liberation. With one pointed mind, have faith in Sai and worship him. Do not ruin your destiny by giving ear to others' words. Organizing members of the Sri Satya Sai National Leadership Program, everyone gathered here, and my fellow graduates, today is yet another day to be thankful to our Lord Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. We all can agree that listening to inspiring experiences of speakers expanded our understanding on various aspects of faith. Many echoed unanimously that one of the most empowering sessions was delivered by Ms. Charu Singha, IPS, CRPF, Inspector General of Police, Srinagar Sector, which inspired many to believe that the courage and determination is all required to overcome the gender bias in the society. Fellow graduates, I want you to understand what a divine blessing it is to be a part of this program, as no other organization offers such a platform. Self-transformation, as the program stressed, was enjoyable as a collective effort. Not surprisingly, anger management was the first observed sign of change in many that was addressed by the very first Dhyana Vahini session. The metamorphosis of changes in many sisters were developing selfless love, time management, perseverance, problem solving, but most importantly, realizing how each of us contributed to the spreading of Swami's messages and how we played an integral role in our organization. One of the outstanding effects of our program was the ability to be self-confident and decision-making. On behalf of all the candidates, I thank everyone's parents for their support and sacrifice, without whom this would not have been possible. Heartfelt thank you to the respective state youth coordinators and guides for all their encouragement throughout. We were put together as a team with youths from different districts and backgrounds. We learned to work and cooperate with each other. Involvement in various exciting projects from Tamil Nadu, for example, curating a website with 281 questions on queries from selected discourses given by Swami to youth, a project that entailed going to rural areas for women and conducting practical courses interlaced with service activities, as well as an exciting project on developing the habit of doing sadhana, which made us realize the importance of teamwork. Hence, I think we should be thankful for each other for bringing us all along. What should we be inspired today by gathering at our Bhagwan's lotus feet? The answer is very simple. Bhagwan himself has said, "My life is my message." Let's follow his message and move forward in our life. By doing so, the transformation of self will come from within as he becomes the embodiment of every thought, word, and deed in our lives. Swami, we extend our loving gratitude to you. We are very well aware that it is only with your sheer grace and blessings that we are seated at your divine presence. Thank you, Swami, for bringing us all under your divine umbrella. Brothers and sisters, when we leave today, celebrate this day, but look forward to being an instrument in his hands who can inspire others. Bless us, Bhagwan, so we can come together and march on the path you have laid for us, now and forever. Thank you all. Jai Sai Ram.
Thanks, Ms. Harni, for sharing such an amazing experiences. Moving forward, I would like to invite Brother Shivansh Tiwari, a Bal Vikas alumnus from Lucknow, currently working as business associates in Gurgaon. Brother Shivansh Tiwari.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My loving salutations at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami, the Supreme Leader, Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Warmest greetings to the august gathering, dignitaries, and future leaders of Swami's divine mission. It has been a momentous year for all of us, and to start, I'd like to share one personal anecdote from 1982. The year when my grandfather had a desire for my father to study in Sri Satya Sai schools. But this desire didn't turn to reality. 27 years later, I was also sitting in the library of Sri Satya Sai Primary School taking my admission test. And this time as well, we returned without getting admitted. As they say, Bhagwan is the embodiment of pure love. He will never let go of the desires of his children. And here we are today, proudly calling ourselves the students and alumni of Sri Sathya Sai School of National Leadership. We thank you, Swami, for giving us such a blissful opportunity. Online sessions on different management skills, with morality being the core principle, was something that no other platform could provide. We not only learned how to manage time, but to value time. Not only how to communicate in corporate gatherings, but also how communication can become the language of love. I know that every participant of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program would resonate with me when I say that we have grown in terms of skills, values, and personality. I feel that I have become better at managing my time and setting my corporate goals which could align to my long-term vision. So I had recently joined this company in 2021, wherein due to some internal business requirement, I had to lead the project. Being a fresher, it was a humongous task for me, but because of some learnings that I caught from the sessions that I attended, like effective listening, frameworks of project management, and the 5W1H techniques of transaction, which are what, who, when, where, why, and how, that I was able to sail my boat to the shore. I would like to take a moment to thank our esteemed faculty and distinguished speakers, because of whom this journey of self-transformation became a lot easier. We also saw how beautifully we all came together in our respective states and underwent some really impact-creating projects. Whether it was spreading awareness and providing aid in the disaster-struck regions of Uttarakhand, or ensuring health and hygiene of Mahilas, this value-based experience through group projects made us realize the power of unity. We learned that competition might make it difficult for us to share our skills, but cooperation surely brings us together. To conclude, I'd like to share one final learning that was from the organizing team of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program. The way the whole journey was planned and executed, it was inspiring. Discipline throughout the course, devotion towards the task, and a sense of duty towards Swami's work. Despite having a super busy life on the other side, it was commendable. This has greatly inspired us and makes us work with perfection on anything that we get to lay our hands on. I feel we are definitely more connected with Swami's mission. We are the future, and it's our responsibility to lead the world on the path of morality. It's the student who sings the glory of the master, and we must become such an example that people become bound to praise our Lord. Much like heat is used to strengthen steel and temper metal, in many ways, I'd like to think that we leverage all the spiritual energy coming at us to ultimately strengthen our spirits. Once again, on behalf of the batch of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program 2021, I take this moment to thank all the forces that made this journey of self-transformation possible. And I pray our success continues to make everyone proud. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Now this is time for the graduating students of the batch of 2021 of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation to receive the certificates in His Divine Presence. May I now request the State Youth Coordinator and one participant from the representative state to receive the certificate. I'll be calling out the names, and we invite the representatives of the state to receive the certificates. To award the certificates, may I request our dignitaries to join. I request our Honorable Chancellor of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning and Chairman of the Global Council, Prasanthi Nilayam K. Chakravarti sir, to join and award the certificates. I also request our Managing Trustee, Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, Sri R.J. Ratnakar Garu. I also request our All India President, Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organization India, Sri Nimis Pandya sir, to join and award the certificates to the participant. We'll be calling out names in alphabetical order. We have now Andhra Pradesh, the State Youth Coordinator, Brother Sai Pradeep and Vinesh, to receive the certificates for the state of Andhra Pradesh. Next, we have Bihar, Shobhakant, to receive the certificate for the state of Bihar. From Chhattisgarh, we request S. Shyam Sundar and Saksham Bharat to receive the certificates for the state of Chhattisgarh. For Chennai Metro, I request Brother Rajesh and Brother Ashwini to receive the certificates for the state of Chennai Metro. For the state of Delhi NCR, I request Brother Gus Bharadwaj and Akarsh Mittal to receive the certificates for the state of Delhi NCR. For the state of Goa, we have Brother Dharmabaram and Omkar to receive the certificates on behalf of Goa. For Gujarat, we have Brother Pratik and Brother Balmik to receive the certificates for the state of Gujarat. I now request Brother Abhinav and Mridul to receive the certificates for the state of Himachal Pradesh. Now I call upon Barun and Ankush to receive the certificate for the state of Haryana. Next, I request Brother Saurabh to receive the certificates for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. For the state of Jharkhand, I request Brother Susant and Alok to receive the certificates for the state of Jharkhand. I now request Brother Venkatesh and Sai Satish from the state of Karnataka to receive the certificates. From Kerala, we have Brother Hari Krishnan and Divan to receive the certificates for the state of Kerala. I now request Brother Jai Pitroda and Sudarshan to receive the certificates for the state of Maharashtra and Mumbai Metro. For the state of Madhya Pradesh, I request Brother Aishwarya and Palas to receive the certificates for the state of Madhya Pradesh. I request Brother Ricky from the state of Manipur to receive the certificates on behalf of Manipur. I request Brother Tushar and Brother Sital Swarup to receive the certificates from the state of Odisha. For Rajasthan, I request Brother Subham Mundra to receive the certificates. We have Brother Sekhar and Nabeen to receive the certificates for the state of Sikkim. Next we have Brother Nagaraj and Sravan to receive the certificates for the state of Telangana. I now request Brother Prasanna and Giris to receive the certificates for the state of Tamil Nadu. For Uttar Pradesh, I request Brother Saswat and Satyam to receive the certificates on behalf of the state of Uttar Pradesh. We have Brother Subham to receive the certificates for the state of Uttarakhand. I now request Brother Anuraj and Rishu Pradhan to receive the certificates for the state of West Bengal. Now we'll be awarding the participate for our Mahila participants. For the state of Andhra Pradesh, I request Sister Sneha and Sai Vaishnavi to receive the certificates for the state of Andhra Pradesh. For the state of Bihar, I request Sister Harshita and Swati Kumari to receive the certificate for the state of Bihar. For Chhattisgarh, I request Sister Yogita Naidu and Kritika to receive the certificates for the state of Chhattisgarh. For Chennai Metro, I request Sai Priya and Sister Priyanka to receive the certificates for the state of Chennai Metro. I request Sister Priyambada and Ananta to receive the certificates for the state of Delhi NCR. I request Dr. Shreya and Samiksha to receive the certificates for the state of Goa. For Gujarat, I request Sister Anjali and Sister Sita to receive the certificates for the state of Gujarat. For Himachal Pradesh, I request Sister Nikita Sarma and Saisa to receive for the state of Himachal Pradesh. I now request Sister Mahek to receive the certificate for the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I request Sister Sucheta Chakrabarti from the state of Jharkhand to receive the certificates. Sister Sucheta and Sister Kabita. For the state of Karnataka, I request Sister Mahalakshmi and Joy Lakshmi to receive the certificate for the state of Karnataka. For the state of Kerala, I request Sister Gitanjali and Dr. Srabya to receive the certificate for the state of Kerala. For Maharashtra and Mumbai Metro, I request Sweta Gopalakrishnan and Malika Bhatt to receive the certificates for Maharashtra and Mumbai Metro. For Madhya Pradesh, I request Sister Nishtha and Jayasri to receive the certificates for the state of Madhya Pradesh. For Manipur, I request Sister Neelam to receive the certificate for the state of Manipur. For the state of Odisha, I request Sai Nutan and Aditi to receive the certificates for the state of Odisha. Sister Isa Sarma from the state of Punjab to receive the certificates for the participants of Punjab. For the state of Rajasthan, I request Sister Srishti and Pragya to receive the certificates on behalf of the state of Rajasthan. I now request Sister Nisa Kulal and Muskan to receive the certificates for the state of Sikkim. Sister Nagajyoti and Vindhya for the state of Telangana. For Tamil Nadu, I request Sister Sai Devi and Sister Priti to receive the certificates for the state of Tamil Nadu. For Uttar Pradesh, I request Sister Sapna and Riya to receive the certificates on behalf of the state of Uttar Pradesh. For Uttarakhand, I request Sister Samolika and Sriti to receive for the state of Uttarakhand. For the state of West Bengal, I request Sister Devansi and Sister Alka to receive the certificates for the state of West Bengal. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. With the divine blessings of our Bhagwan, we now offer a souvenir entitled Sai Prerna, which comprises of the experiences showcasing the journey of self-transformation of the participants of Batch 2020. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Shri K. Chakravarti, Chancellor, Shri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Shri R.J. Ratnakar, Managing Trustee, Shri Satya Sai Central Trust, and Shri Nimish Pandya, Chairman, Shri Satya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, and All India President, Shri Satya Sai Seva Organizations, India. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
On behalf of all of us present here, may I now request the chairman of the Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation, the All India President of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, Shri Nimish Pandya ji, to come and deliver the chairman's address. Shri Nimish Pandya ji.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering our most humble salutations to our Divine Master, Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, and seeking His blessings upon all of us, to always be with us, and to bless us that we fulfill His wish, His desire, and always make Him happy with our conduct. Respected Shri Chakravarti, Shri Ratnakar, all the trustees of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, all the members of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organization, the members of the faculty that leads this program throughout the country, our coordinator, Dr. Gopi, the organizing team, all my state youth coordinators, both gents and ladies, the points of contact that really spearheaded this entire course for the year, and my brothers and sisters of the batch of 2020, 2021, and 2022, which has just started. Sai Ram to all of you, and greetings on this beautiful day. When Brother Tiwari spoke about his journey and the wish of his grandfather and father, and ultimately he was standing here today, I was reminded that Swami used to always say that the real education of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning happens in the Sai Kulwant Hall when the children assemble here. Because this is the place potent with vibrations, charged by the Lord Himself, by the Divine Master. He used to say, when children come and sit in my presence, the real learning happens here. All the others are instrumentalities that gear up the situation. But you, brothers and sisters, today are indeed really the students of Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba assembled here in the beautiful Sai Kulwant Hall of Prasanthi Nilayam. Whatever you may learn in 29 weeks, it can't be compared to what you experience in these few hours sitting in the Sai Kulwant Hall. There is no comparison to that, brothers and sisters, and therefore, truly we need to be indebted to Bhagwan for this opportunity that has come our way of assembling in the divine precincts of Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, the Sai Kulwant Hall of Prasanthi Nilayam. There are many, many young men and women all over the world. But there is no hesitation in my mind but to see that you are the blessed ones who had the opportunity to come to Prasanthi Nilayam and be here in the divine precincts. Dear brothers, young men and women, I must tell you, this course of Sri Sathya Sai National Leadership Program for Self-Transformation has no parallel in the whole world. This is the best course that you can ever go through. Because this course is not a course of skill development. It's not a course of knowledge. But as Bhagwan used to always say, you must have knowledge, you skill the knowledge, you put into practice, and ultimately get the insight into what the truth is. We are not conducting this course so that you can become leaders to lead somebody else. This is not the goal of the course. The goal of the course here is to understand the art of self-mastery for which the avatar came on the face of this earth. He came to tell you and me that we are reflections of the divinity. We are embodiments of perfection, as perfect as the divine master himself. And therefore our goal is set for all young men and women that perfection in life on the perception of divinity which present within each one of us is the idea. Bhagavan said that I've created the entire platform of the Sri Sathya Sai organization only with one purpose. I have nothing to do with this organization, but I've created this organization and gifted it to you so that you can strengthen your one-to-one relationship with me, and that is the Divine Master who resides in our heart. Brothers and sisters, have no doubt that all the skills that we may earn, all the knowledge that we can get, unless we put into practice, it has no meaning. It's only when we put it into practice that the experience of divinity within will come. And what is that going to do to you? It's going to tell you and assure you that in every thought, word and deed that each one of us has, every second of our lives, the Master is the guide. He is the prompter. He is the director. He is the doer. Let us learn at His divine lotus feet that the avatar came on the face of this earth to tell us that, look, I am with you all the time. I am doing everything for you. Feel it, read it, realize it. And therefore, day-to-day life is not going to be divorced from the experience that the Master is the doer behind all of us. What you breathe, what you think, what you do, everything is controlled by Him. We've heard Bhagavan tell many, many young men, "Tum kuch planning nahi karo, tumhara sab planning humne kiya hai." Realize that doesn't mean that you don't go into action, but you enter into the world of action with total surrender to Him, both in happiness and sorrow. Everything that you do, you think, you act, surrender to Swami. Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba is not a guru. He's not a saint. Let us not make the mistake of comparing or even thinking that Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba is one of the milieu of gurus and saints that come on this face of this earth. He is the ultimate master of the cosmos. He is your very breath. He is my very breath. And therefore, without Him, there is no you and there is no me. Whether you believe in any form of God or not, understand one thing, that every breath that you and I breathe is Him. It is His energy. It is His grace. It is His blessings. And when you use that power, imagine the compassion of the Master. He came to tell you and me, I have come down to tell you that I am inside you, I am outside you, above you. Use me. Here is the Master who wants to be used by us. But mankind gets lost in this world of senses and forgets and believes everything that you do, I do, meh, goes on all the time. We're not able to dissociate from the world of attraction and not able to attach ourselves to the Divine Master and give Him the credit. Therefore, many times remember in life, if anybody praises you and tells you, sir, you've done a fantastic job, don't take it seriously, because that is the biggest lie in the world. The real master, the doer, is Bhagavan Himself. And when you keep that courage and that faith, He is the prompter. In the divine drama, He is the prompter within. And therefore, the Dhyan Vahini is the foundation of your course. To silence the mind and listen to His voice, increase the volume within, and unhesitatingly depend upon Him. There's a lovely story when Lord Vishnu and Ma Lakshmi were reclining, Vishnu was reclining and Mataji was trying to do Pada Seva to Lord Vishnu. And Ma Lakshmi was saying that, Lord, you keep on running every time, wherever there is a call, where is the prayer, you keep on running people down. You hardly take any rest. He says, no, Ma, it is my duty to go and help every devotee of mine, irrespective of color, caste, creed and religion. So suddenly when this dialogue was going on, Lord Vishnu got up suddenly and started moving. So Ma asked him, where are you going? No, there is one devotee of mine who needs help and I have to run and help him immediately. Suddenly after a few seconds he came back. So Ma asked him, what happened? Why did you come back? No, you see, what was happening was that somebody was mistreating my devotee and he was crying for help. But before I go there, he himself started fighting with the other guy, so I had no role to perform. I came back and rested again. Every time God wants to come and help you and me, But you say, no, main kar lega, I will do. So God says, okay, you do, I go and rest. Now you take, whether the I do syndrome is the correct syndrome or Swami surrender, Samarpayami, that I was talking. Samarpayami is not only in words, it is in action. It is a fact that we need to work. Brothers and sisters, the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization of this country, of the world that Swami has established, is a golden opportunity for all of you to put into practice. Knowledge, skill, but the practice is important in day-to-day life and on the platform of the Sri Sathya Sai organization. Then we will be ensconced and fortified in our insight that the real doer is a master himself. Brothers and sisters, go back home. Remember, silence is the greatest message of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Truthful action is the need that Bhagwan draws us. Do not get carried away in plagiarism. Do not get carried away by friends. Swami used to always say there is only one friend on the face of this earth, and that is God, and He is inside him. Therefore, keep this friendship with God for young men and women is very important. Time is important. You are young today. I remember I was also young, sitting like you in the Sai Kulwant Hall many years ago. But time and tide waits for no one. The said Nimish became Nimish Bhai, to Nimish Uncle, to Nimish Dadaji. I am still the same person, but the perception changes. Today, Tiwari will come and stand as a young man, but when Tiwari will be called Dadaji, Tiwari himself will not realize. When my sisters, when they will become Dada and Dadis, they will not become Dadijis, he will not realize. Because time doesn't wait. The frame of life is given from beginning, and we don't know. It is in this frame of life, self-confidence by surrendering to God is an opportunity. You take it or you leave it. Don't miss it. Youth is a time to invest. Youth is not a time to spend. Youth is a time to invest in good thoughts, good health, good mind, good company, and in sadhana, in sacrifice, so that you become a master of yourself. Where you get the art of always being at peace, both in happiness and sorrow. You don't swing like a pendulum. That is the evaluation of the entire story. We conduct this course not because we want to teach you so much content. We conduct this course because we want to offer all ourselves at the Divine Lotus feet so that each one of you gets the divine experience of the reality of life. The ability to use the power for compassion, use the power for forgiveness, use the power for perfection, use the power for achievement for the sake of mankind, not selfish achievement. These are the beautiful qualities that Bhagwan wants us to learn. Go back, brothers and sisters, to your states. Go back and join the Sathya Sai organization. Most of you are already a part of it. Go wholehearted. But there also don't be selfish. When you go back to the world, to the Sathya Sai organization in your state, become inspirations for many, many more young men and women to come forward and join. Because what you have learned, what you have experienced, it is your duty to share that experience with all the other young men and women in the world, and especially in your states. So these are the prime duties that you must carry back home. The whole manifestation of the word gratitude to Bhagwan is in action, not only in words. Gratitude must come into action. We must lead our lives exemplary. We must become inspiration for others. And this inspiration with humility, with forgiveness, with compassion must draw more and more people on the path of humility and compassion and service. Brothers and sisters, don't get deluded. Ours is not an organization that only does seva. Ours is an organization that does seva based upon sadhana. Remember the difference. There is no organization in the world which has this principle as is given by Bhagwan. Bhagwan used to always say, what will please me is when you become good human beings with compassion and serve mankind. Bhagwan never said only serve. Bhagwan says transform. Do sadhana and then serve. For us, seva is a different dimension. Here we do seva not to propagate ourselves. Here we do seva not to get congratulated. And therefore I always urge the Sathya Sai organization, all our people, do not congratulate each other because you are not the doer, I am not the doer. What are we congratulating each other for when the doer is the master? It is the collective power of our understanding and reflecting Swami's real essence. It's this form of gratitude that we must give Bhagwan. Indeed, go back home and thank your parents for giving you this opportunity. Give our regards as an organization on behalf of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, on behalf of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organization in India, offer our great greetings to your parents, to your mothers, to your fathers, and say we are very, very happy and proud of them that they gave such opportunity to their children to join the Satsai organization and be a part of this learning process. I pray to Bhagwan to shower his immense grace and blessings upon each one of you. But remember, speak less, practice more, do more, and keep your thought, word, and deed one. Remember, the mind is the biggest thing. The Dhyana Vahini is something that needs to be remembered every breath of your life. Control your mind, silence your mind, because Swami is inside you, talking to you 24/7. You'll have no problems if you increase the volume of Swami as the voice of conscience in your heart. You'll have never problems in your life. You'll always take the right decision. You'll always be happy. The world may say whatever they want, but you will be strong and steady. The Satsai young messengers, the Satyasai youth leaders are men and women who stand forth like the two lions on the two sides of Bhagwan Shri Satsai Baba. You are not sheep, you are lions of Bhagwan Shri Satsai Baba. And therefore, lionesses also, before my sisters, and lions and lionesses of the Shri Satsai organization, because you are no ordinary. You have been selected by the Divine Master himself. And remember, when you are in the party of the Divine Master, nobody can defeat you ever in life. Jai Sai Ram, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Nimish Pandya sir, for that awe-inspiring address. Swami, on behalf of each one of us present here and across the globe, we collectively pray to you to deliver your divine message. Sai Ram.
Embodiments of love. లోక సమస్త సుఖినో భవంతు సర్వుల యొక్క క్షేమమే నా యొక్క క్షేమం. The welfare and well-being of all is certainly my own well-being. అంతేకాని నేను నా కుటుంబము నా బంధువులు మాత్రమే అభివృద్ధి రావాలనేటువంటి యొక్క ఈ సంకుచితమైన భావం ఉండకూడదు. My people, my kith and kin, and I should come up. This is a very narrow outlook. అందరూ ఒక్క విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క ఏకత్వంగా ఉండేటువంటి యొక్క జీవిత తత్వాన్ని గడపాలి. All should get the same type of life to lead. అందరి యందు ఒక్క దైవత్వం ఉండాలనేటువంటిది ఈ ఆధ్యాత్మికంలోనే నిరూపిస్తుంది. It is the Adhyatmika, the spiritual domain, which proves beyond doubt the point that in all individuals resides the one and the only one. The one manifests as the many. కేవలం నాలెడ్జ్ ని డెవలప్ చేసినంత మాత్రమే ప్రయోజనం లేదు. Merely a furtherance of knowledge is of no use. ఈ నాలెడ్జ్ టుడే అండ్ టుమారో నాలెడ్జ్, డే ఆఫ్టర్ టుమారో ఎలర్జీ. What you call knowledge is today and tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, that becomes allergy. Practical లో లేనటువంటి ఒక knowledge ప్రయోజనం ఏమిటి? Useless. That knowledge which cannot be translated into practice, it's useless. Knowledge without action is useless. Action without knowledge is foolishness. Knowledge without action is useless. Action without knowledge is foolishness. కనుక మనం అన్నింటిని కూడా క్రియారూపంలో మనం నిరూపించాలి. So what you have learned, try and show it in practice. మనం ఎక్కడ పరిశోధనలు చేశామో అవన్నీ పుస్తకములోకి ఎక్కిస్తున్నారు. మస్తకము పుస్తకము రెండు ఒకటి అయిపోతున్నాయి. Now all that you have learned, you are pushing it into the pages of the book. What's in the book comes into the mind. There is a link between the mind and the book now. Nothing more than that. దానిని సమాజంలో ఎంతవరకు ఉపయోగపెడుతుంది? How much of it is being thrown up in the society? కనుక దీనిని మనము సమాజంలో ప్రవేశపెట్టి దీన్ని సరైన రీతిగా మన సోదర మానవులకంతా కూడాను అనుకూలంగా చేస్తూ రావాలి. So try and use it for the brothers. After all, everybody around you is your own brother. ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, ముఖ్యంగా విజ్ఞాన శాస్త్రము భగవత్ తత్వము రెండు కూడాను భిన్నమైనటువంటివి కాదు. Embodiments of love. What you must understand is what you call science, what you call spirituality, or that dealing with God. ఈ రెండు కూడాను ఒక్కటే. They are not two disparate or different entities. The two are essentially one. ఇది ఒక్కటి. ఏమిటిది? Now here, what is this? A piece of cloth. ఇది క్లాత్ కాదు, bundle of threads. This is not a piece of cloth, it's a bundle of threads. కానీ threads కాదు, cotton. It's not threads again, it's cotton, thread, cloth మూడు ఒక్కటే. So cotton, thread and cloth are all the same. లౌకికం, భౌతికం, ఆధ్యాత్మిక మూడు ఒక్కటే. So here you have Laukika, Bhautika and Adhyatmika, all the same.
You are not one person, but three.
You are not one person, but three.
The one you think you are, the one others think you are, the one you really are.
The first, the one you think you are. The second, the one others think you are. And the third, what you really are.
కనుకనే వర్క్, వర్షిప్ అండ్ విజ్డమ్ ఈ మూడింటిని ఏకం చేయాలి.
So you talk about a synthesis, work, worship and wisdom in this context.
చేతులతో మనం పని చేయాలి.
We talk of work through the medium of hands.
వర్షిప్ నీవు మనసుతో చింతించాలి.
Talk of worship, the medium of heart.
విజ్డమ్ బుద్ధితో విచారణ చేయాలి.
And you talk of wisdom, the intellect comes
ఈ
into play.
బుద్ధితో విచారణ చేయటమే జ్ఞానము.
This process of inquiry through the medium of intellect is gnana.
పవిత్రమైనటువంటి హృదయాన్ని చేరి ఉండటమే భక్తి.
And where you have a pure heart, that is bhakti.
ఉపకారమైనటువంటి కార్యములు చేయటమే కర్మ.
And doing beneficial acts is karma.
కనుకనే వర్క్, వర్షిప్ అండ్ విజ్డమ్ ఇది 3 W's నీవు కావాలి.
So you have here the three things, work, worship and wisdom. The 3 W's, that's what you must become.
ఇది నిజమైనటువంటి యొక్క మానవత్వానికి తగినటువంటి ఉత్తమ మార్గం.
This is the true hallmark of man's greatness, or the path that he must take.
ప్రపంచంలో ఒక విధమైనటువంటి ఉపకారములకు కానీ అపకారములకు కానీ ఏక మనసే ఆధారము.
Now either for good to the society at large or for the bad, it's the mind which is
బలహీనతకు కానీ బలమునకు కానీ ఒక మనసే కారణం.
Either for weakness or for strength, it's the mind again which is the cause.
కనుకనే బలవంతుడైనటువంటి వాడు అనేక విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క పరిశోధన చేస్తాడు.
A powerful person tends to take up any number of
బలమైన మనసు కలిగినటువంటి వాడు ఏరోప్లేన్ అంతా తయారు చేస్తుంటాడు.
Any number of experiments. Now one, for example, he talks about developing the aeroplanes.
బలహీనమైన మనసు కలిగినటువంటి వాడు పారాచూట్ తయారు చేస్తాడు.
The one which has got a weak mind talks about the parachute and develops it.
ఈ పారాచూట్ కూడాను మనకు ఉపయోగమే, ఏరోప్లేన్ ఉపయోగమే.
You do need the parachute as you need the aeroplane.
ఈ మంచి చెడ్డలు రెండు కూడాను సమాజంలో ఉపయోగంగానే వస్తున్నాయి.
So both these two things are necessary for man.
కనుకనే మనము నమ్మకం అనేటువంటి దాన్ని బలంగా మనం పెట్టుకోవాలి.
So the first thing is faith or belief as your strength.
మన ఫెయిత్ అనేటువంటిది ఏమాత్రము రీజన్ చూడకూడదు.
The faith should see no reason whatsoever.
ఎందుకంటే ఇది అతీతమైనటువంటి యొక్క తత్వం.
Because it's beyond reason.
నీ ఫెయిత్ తోనే నీ కర్మలంతా కూడా సంసిద్ధమవుతాయి.
It is through your faith that you do your karma or actions.
ఫెయిత్ లేకపోతే మన క్షణము కూడా నివసించడానికి
without this element of faith you cannot live even for a second.
కనుకని ఈ ఫెయిత్ అనేటువంటిది మన చేతిలో పెట్టుకున్నప్పుడు ఎంతవరకునైనా మనం సాధించవచ్చు.
Armed with this weapon of faith you can achieve any success.
ఒకవైపున మ్యాటరు, మరొక వైపున ఎనర్జీ, ఈ రెండింటిని చేర్చేటువంటి విధానం చూడాలి.
On the one hand matter, on the other energy. Try to synthesize these two at some point. Look for that path.
మనము ఈ నిజమైనటువంటి తత్వంలో లౌకికమైనటువంటి యొక్క సైన్స్ కును ఆధ్యాత్మికమైనటువంటి యొక్క స్పిరిచువల్ కు సన్నిహిత సంబంధం చేయాలి.
So what you must try to endeavor is try and bridge the gap between the worldly and the adhyatmika.
అయితే ఈనాడు మనం వేరు చేస్తున్నాం.
But today we are dividing the two. This is not the correct thing to do.
ఏకోహం బహుశ్యాం, ఏకము నుంచి అనేకమైపోతుండాలి.
From the one have come the many.
ఒక్క వృక్షములో అనేక పుష్పాలు కనిపిస్తుంటాయి.
In a single tree you have flowers of any number.
అనేక ఫలములు కనిపిస్తుంటాయి.
Any number of fruits.
అనేక బ్రాంచెస్ ఉంటా ఉంటుంటాయి.
Any number of branches.
అనేక రూట్స్ ఉంటా ఉంటాయి.
Any number of roots.
కానీ ఈ లీవ్స్ అంతా ఉంటుంటాయి.
And also any number of leaves.
ఈ లీవ్స్, ఫ్రూట్స్, ఫ్లవర్స్, ఈ రూట్స్, ఈ బ్రాంచెస్ అన్ని చేరి ఒక్క విత్తనం నుంచే వస్తున్నాయి.
All these leaves, the branches, the fruit, the flowers, all of them have sprouted and come from one single seed.
దీనిని బీజం మాం సర్వభూతానాం అనింది భగవద్గీత.
This is what the Bhagavad Gita has said. The seed is one and what you have are many.
కనుక భగవంతుడే దీనికి విత్తనం.
Now God is the seed.
విశ్వమే దీనికి పెద్ద వృక్షము.
This creation is a huge big tree.
ఈ విశ్వంలో వచ్చినటువంటి ఈ యొక్క ఫ్లవర్స్ మన యొక్క థాట్స్.
And in this tree you have flowers, our thoughts.
నియమంగా మనం చేసినటువంటి ఉపకారమే దీంట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఫలములు.
And the good that you do are the fruit.
మన రిలేషన్షిప్ దీనికి బ్రాంచెస్.
Our relationships are like the branches.
దీని ఫలం ఉన్నటువంటి ఫలమే మన క్యారెక్టర్.
And that fruit that comes through is a character.
కింద ఉన్నటువంటి రూటే మనకు విశ్వాసము.
That root down below is this element of faith.
కింద రూట్ పైన ఫ్రూట్ ఉండినప్పుడు ఇది ఒక ట్రీ.
When you have root below and the fruit above, then you have the tree.
పైన ఫ్రూట్ లేకుండా కింద రూట్ లేకపోతే ఇది ఫైర్ వుడ్ అయిపోతుంది.
Now without the fruit at the top and root at the bottom, this becomes a mere firewood.
కనుక ఈనాడు మనము ప్రేమతో మన యొక్క క్యారెక్టర్ ని పెంచుకుంటూ రావాలి.
So through this love, try and develop character.
The end of education is character.
The end of education is character.
The end of culture is perfection.
The end of culture is perfection.
The end of knowledge is love.
The end of knowledge is
The
love.
end of wisdom is freedom.
The end of wisdom is freedom.
ఈనాడు ఫ్రీడమ్ 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 ఏమిటి ఈ ఫ్రీడమ్? మితిమీరినటువంటి ఫ్రీడమ్.
Today you repeat parrot like the word freedom, freedom. What do you really mean by it?
ఈనాడు మితిమీరినటువంటి యొక్క ఫ్రీడమ్ లో పోవటం చేతనే మతి చెడిపోతున్నది.
What you have really is freedom in excess. As a result, mental derangement.
అన్నిటికీ ఒక నియమం ఉంటుండాలి.
For everything there is a limit.
నశ్రేయో నియమం వినా, నియమము లేకపోతే శ్రేయస్సే ఉండదు.
Without this limit, you cannot have a degree of comfort.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, ప్రకృతి భగవత్ సృష్టి లోపల ఎంతెంత వరకు బ్యాలెన్స్ ఉండాలో అంతవరకు ఉంటుండాలి.
Now in this nature, there ought to be a perfect balance among the different components.
పైన టాప్ లోపల ఎనర్జీ,
right at the top you have energy.
దానికి స్కిల్,
then you talk of skill,
దీనికి మధ్యలో బ్యాలెన్స్,
and before that you talk of balance,
డౌన్ లో ఇన్సైడ్,
and under that you have insight.
పైన ఉన్నటువంటి నాలెడ్జ్ ని ఈనాడు మనం స్కిల్ చేయటం లేదు, కిల్ చేస్తున్నాం.
Now this knowledge which is right at the top, you're not trying to make it knowledge, you're trying to kill it.
ఈ కిల్ చేయటం వల్ల బ్యాలెన్స్ తప్పోతా ఉంది.
And because you're killing it, the balance is being upset.
బ్యాలెన్స్ తప్పోవటం వల్ల ఇన్సైట్ లేకుండా అవుట్ సైడ్ అయిపోతా ఉంది.
And because this balance is upset, you don't have insight, you have this outward thing.
కనుకనే మనం మొట్టమొదటి నాలెడ్జ్ ని స్కిల్ చేయాలి.
So your knowledge should first of all be made into a skill.
ఆ స్కిల్ చేసేటువంటి విధానమే ఆధ్యాత్మికం.
And that which tells you how to make this into a skill is Adhyatmika
కానీ
spirituality.
ఈనాటి మానవుడు ఇన్ని విధములైనటువంటి తెలివితేటలు కలిగినప్పటికీ తాను సరైనటువంటి మార్గాన్ని అనుసరించలేకపోతున్నాడు.
Today man is certainly clever and intelligent, but he doesn't know where to go.
కనుకనే దీనిని ఆధ్యాత్మికనందు మధ్య భాగంలో ఉంటున్నటువంటిది హ్యూమన్.
So in the Adhyatmic parlance, you have an intermediate level, the human.
క్రింద మ్యాటర్ లెవెల్లో ఉంటుండాలి.
And below that you have the level of matter.
పైన డివినిటీ ఉంటుండాలి.
And above this human level you have
ఇక్కడ
divinity.
ఈ మధ్య ఉన్నటువంటి మానవుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు? ఈ డివినిటీకి పోవటం లేదు, మ్యాటర్ కి దిగుతున్నాడు. కనుక నీ డివినిటీ దూరం అయిపోతుండాలి.
Now today the man, instead of going up towards divinity, is coming down to the level of matter. He is getting far removed from divinity.
మనం క్రిందికి చూడకూడదు.
So you should never look down.
లో ఎయిమ్ ఈజ్ క్రైమ్ అన్నాడు.
A low aim is a crime.
కనుక మనం కింది దృష్టిలో ఉండకూడదు, విశాలమైన పై దృష్టి. లుక్ అప్.
Never look down, look up always.
మనం ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఉన్నత 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 భావాలే మనం పోవాలి.
All the while try and get yourself motivated by thoughts.
ఒక్క దాంట్లో మనం సక్సెస్ అయిపోతే ఇంకా అన్నింటి ఎందుకు కూడా సక్సెస్ అవుతుంది ఆధ్యాత్మికంలో.
Once you succeed once, there's nothing like success.
సక్సెస్ బిగెట్ సక్సెస్ అన్నారు.
Success begets success, as they say.
మనం ఈ విజయాన్ని సాధించడానికి మనం ప్రయత్నించాలి.
This is the type of success that you must try to achieve.
కాన మనము ఈ స్పిరిచువల్ అనేటువంటి దానికి ఈ యొక్క సైన్స్ ని కూడా తోడుగా తీసుకొని తద్వారా రెండింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వం చేయాలి, కానీ భిన్నత్వంగా మనం భావించాలి.
So try and make spirituality and science, take them together. Don't make a division between the two.
ప్రపంచం అంతా కూడాను సైన్సే.
The whole world is science.
ప్రపంచం అంతా కూడాను స్పిరిచువాలిటీ.
And the world at the same way is
అది లేనిది ఇది లేనిది అది లేదు.
Is spirituality. Without one, the other has no meaning.
ఒకటి నెగటివ్, ఒకటి పాజిటివ్.
One is negative, the other is
ఈ
positive.
రెండింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వమే మనకు ఫలితం.
And where you have the two coming together, you have a result.
నెగటివ్ గా పోతే పాజిటివ్, పాజిటివ్ గా పోతే ప్రయోజనం లేదు.
You have a positive result. Negative by itself, positive by itself, you can't achieve anything.
ఈ రెండింటి యొక్క సమన్వయాన్ని మనం ఈనాడు అభివృద్ధి పరచాలి.
And today, try and bring them together. That should be your endeavor.
ఈ ఏకం చేసినటువంటిదే నిజమైనటువంటి యొక్క పూర్ణ మనస్కుడు.
And one who can bring about the synthesis is one who has got the total picture.
ముఖ్యంగా మనము ఆధారమైనటువంటి యొక్క దైవత్వాన్ని మనం విశ్వసించి ఆదేయమైన జగత్తును అనుభవించడానికి చూసుకోవాలి.
One who has the total picture in mind. Now, embodiments of love. You must have God as the basis and try to look for something which is resting on it.
సృష్టిని పరిశోధన చేసేటువంటి వాడు సైంటిస్ట్.
One who tries to seek to understand this nature around him is a scientist.
సృష్టికర్తనే పరిశోధన చేసేటువంటి వాడు సెయింట్.
But one who looks for the one who is responsible for this creation is a saint.
ఎక్కువ వ్యత్యాసం లేదు. అతను సెయింట్, ఇతను సైంటిస్ట్.
There is no difference. One is the saint, the other is the scientist.
కనుక నిజముగా ఈనాడు మనము అభివృద్ధి కావించుకోవాల్సింది ప్రేమతత్వము. ఈ ప్రేమతత్వం ఒక ఆధ్యాత్మికతోనే లభిస్తుంది.
But the need of the day is this element of love, which again could be got only through the medium of spirituality.
ఈ ప్రేమనే లేకపోతే మనం జీవించలేము.
Without love, you cannot live.
ఒక చిన్న ఉదాహరణ,
and a small example for this.
గొప్ప అధికారిగా ఉండేటువంటి వాడు మా బంధువు, మా యొక్క మిత్రుడు ఉంటే మనం ఎంతో బలం వస్తాం.
Now, if you have a feeling that somebody in a high position is your relative, you derive a lot of strength from that.
గొప్ప శ్రీమంతుడైనటువంటి వాడు నా బంధువు, నా మిత్రుడు అనుకుంటే మనకి ఎంతో బలం ఇస్తుంది.
So also, an extremely wealthy person is related to you. You derive a lot of strength from that.
అదే విధంగానే భగవంతుడే నా బంధువు, భగవంతుడే నా మిత్రుడు అంటే మనకి ఎంత బలం వస్తుంది.
In the same manner, if you were to say, God is my relative, God is my friend, how powerful and secure should you feel?
కనుక నిజమైనటువంటి బంధువు భగవంతుడు ఒక్కడే.
So the true relation of yours is verily God.
ఈ లోక సంబంధమైనటువంటి బంధువులందరూ కూడాను ప్రాణం ఉండినంత వరకే సంబంధం.
These relatives of yours through the medium of this body, so long as you have
ఎవరు
your life.
మనకు మిత్రుడు నిజంగా? భగవంతుడే మనకు నిజమైన మిత్రుడు.
Who's your true friend then again? God.
ఈ లోక సంబంధమైన మిత్రులంతా కూడాను మంచి పొజిషన్ లో ఉంటున్నావా? హలో హలో హలో, పాకెట్ లో మనీ ఉందా? హలో 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 హలో. ఈ పాకెట్ లో మనీ పోయింది, పొజిషన్ దిగబడిపోయింది, గుడ్ బై చెప్పి వెళ్ళిపోతారు.
Now these friends of yours in a worldly sense, how fast and thick are they? So long as you are in a position, they'll say, hello, hello, how are you? So long as you have some currency notes being seen through your pocket, hello, hello, how are you? The moment the currency notes disappear, they say goodbye and they are their way.
ట్యాంక్ లో వాటర్ ఉండినంత వరకును ఫ్రాగ్స్ అన్ని వచ్చి చేరిపోతాయి.
When there is water in the tank or the pond, all the frogs collect there.
వాటర్ డ్రై అయిపోతానే ఒక్క సింగిల్ ఫ్రాగ్.
Once the pond dries up, you can't find even a single frog.
కనుక ఈనాటి బంధువులందరూ కూడాను మన యొక్క మంచిని చూచి అందరూ చేరుతుంటారు.
In the same manner, your relatives, they come to you so long as you have something.
కానీ మన స్థితిని మారిపోయేటప్పటికి ఒక్క బంధువైనా దగ్గరికి రాడు.
Once fate decides otherwise, all your relatives disappear.
కానీ నిరంతరము కూడాను మన వెంట జంట ఇంట కంట ఉంటుండి కాపాడేటువంటి వాడు దైవం ఒక్కడే.
But the one who's always with you, in you, around you, looking after you constantly and continuously is God and God alone.
మనం విశ్వసించి జగత్తును కూడాను అనుభవించి ఈ జగత్తులో ఉండినటువంటి సత్యాన్ని కూడాను గుర్తించటము ఇది చాలా సహజమైన జీవితము.
So believe in a God of this nature and live in this world, experience all that has to be experienced, and that is certainly a true way of life.
వ్యక్తులైనటువంటి యొక్క విద్యార్థులు యువకులుగా ఉంటుంటారు. ఈ సైన్స్ అనేటువంటిది యువకుల మనసునంతా కూడా కన్ఫ్యూజన్ చేసి పెడతా ఉంది.
Today's youth take to the path of science. As a result, they're getting confused.
తెలిసింది తక్కువైనా కూడాను విర్రవీగటం ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుండాలి.
What they know is hardly anything, very little, but they tend to become arrogant.
ఆంగ్ల విద్యాభిమానులుగా రూపొందుతున్నారు కానీ ఆత్మ విద్యాభిమానులుగా రావటం లేదు.
They do have a lot of liking for this sort of a pursuit, but they don't have anything for their own interest.
ఆంగ్ల విద్య ఆవగింజంత నేర్చుకుంటే గుమ్మడికాయంత అహంకారం వస్తుంటుండాలి.
This mere mastery of the knowledge of English gives them so much of arrogance. They feel
నిజముగా విద్యావంతుడంటే అహంకారం అక్కడ ఉండకూడదు.
one who's truly educated has no trace of egoism.
విద్యే వినయ సంపన్నే అన్నారు.
Vidya or education confers humility.
ఈ వినయం ఉండినప్పుడే అందరితోనూ కలిసిక చేరుతుంది.
When you have this humility, you can move freely with others.
కనుక ప్రేమను పెంచుకొని ఈ దివ్యమైనటువంటి వినయం తోపల జగత్తునంతా ఒక్క కట్టగా కట్టుకొని ఉన్నతమైనటువంటి యొక్క జీవితంగా ఆదర్శవంతమైన జీవితంగా అందించాలని నేను ఆశిస్తూ ఆశీర్వదిస్తూ నా ప్రసంగాన్ని విరమిస్తున్నాను.
Have this element of love in you. Bind everybody through this divine quality of humility. And through this medium of love and humility, bring everybody together. And therein lies your peace and progress and prosperity.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా, మొట్టమొదట మానసిక పరిణామం తప్ప ఇంక ఎన్ని పరిణామములు వచ్చినా జగత్తు మంచిది పాపం.
I'm hoping and blessing that you would do so. Embodiments of love. This transformation of mind is certainly called for. That is what is required at the moment.
మనసు మారితేనే జగత్తంతా మారుతుంది.
When the mind changes, the world also would change.
కనుక మనసు మార్చడానికి ప్రేమను పెంచుకోండి.
So for the sake of changing the mind, develop this love.
Start the day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. This is the way to God.
Start the day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. This is the way to God.
ఈ సత్యాన్ని మీరు గుర్తించుకోండి. సర్వమును తెలుసుకున్నటువంటి వారు.
Understand this truth, you have understood everything.
गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधे कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधे कृष्ण जय Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Kamala Hari Pyari Mai Meera Hari Karana Mon Puranidhar Krishna Jai. Kamala Hari Pyari Mai Meera Manavihar Madana Mona Puranidhar Krishna Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Rama Krishna Jai, Radha Krishna Jai, Bala Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna 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 Jai. Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai, Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Bala Rama Krishna Jai. Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Govinda Krishna Jai, Gopala Krishna Jai, Gopala Bala Bala Krishna Jai.
Brahmanda Nayaka Baba Patipurishwara Baba. Brahmanda Nayaka Baba Patipurishwara Baba. Chand aur suraj tumne बनाए, चांद और सूरज तुमने बनाए, नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए, नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए, नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए, नदियाँ सागर तुमने बनाए। ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा। ब्रह्मांड नायका बाबा पतिपुरीश्वर बाबा। अयोध्या बाबा प्रतिपुरीश्वर बाबा
राम राम रविकुल सोमा
राम राम रविकुल सोमा
राम राम रविकुल सोमा
राम राम रविकुल सोमा
कोदंड रामा पट्टाभिरामा
कोदंड रामा पट्टाभिरामा
कोदंड रामा पट्टाभिरामा
कोदंड रामा पट्टाभिरामा
साई रामा साकेत रामा
साई रामा साकेत रामा
साई रामा साकेत रामा
साई रामा साकेत रामा
जय जय रामा जानकी 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 रामा
राम राम रविकुल सोमा
राम रविकुल सोमा
कोदंड रामा पट्टाभिरामा
कोदंड रामा पट्टाभिरामा
साई रामा साकेत रामा
साई रामा साकेत रामा
जय जय रामा जानकी 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 रामा
राम राम
रविकुल सोमा जगतपति हरि साई गोपाला जगतपति हरि साई गोपाला जगतपति हरि साई गोपाला जगतपति हरि साई गोपाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला मधुर मधुर हे गान विलोला 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 जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगतपति हरि साई गोपाला जगतपति हरि साई गोपाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला मथुराधिपति कृष्ण गोपाला मधुर मधुर हे गान विलोला मधुर मधुर हे गान विलोला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदोधारा साई नंदलाला जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ,
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ,
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ,
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ,
शिव शंकरी कृपा 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 करो माँ,
साईश्वरी रक्ष करो माँ,
साईश्वरी रक्ष करो माँ,
साईश्वरी रक्ष करो माँ,
साईश्वरी रक्ष करो माँ,
परतीश्वरी भला करो माँ,
परतीश्वरी भला करो माँ,
पुट परतीश्वरी भला करो माँ,
परतीश्वरी भला करो माँ,
शिव शंकरी कृपा 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 करो माँ,
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ,
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ,
शिव शंकरी कृपा करो माँ,
शिव शंकरी कृपा करो माँ,
साईश्वरी रक्ष करो माँ,
साईश्वरी रक्ष करो माँ,
परतीश्वरी भला करो माँ,
परतीश्वरी भला करो माँ,
शिव शंकरी कृपा 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 करो माँ,
जगदीश्वरी दया करो माँ।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशि वदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपति स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपति आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आवद्बान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश मातपिता गुरुदैवं मर्यन्तयो नीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयो नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राशयन ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंतुको मंगल आरती अंतुको मंगलगिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरु शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।